Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Welcome all newcomers. This is Terry and today I am going to answer a viewer question. And the question is a very legitimate question, one that I am sorry that I had never really addressed before, but the question is, how and when do I fertilize my Phalaenopsis? And I realized that I had never even addressed that question. And because honestly, I have not fertilized, as you know. But if I had been fertilizing like I should have been, then I really would have been following the semi-hydro technique. More or less is when you need to more or less backfill is how I would describe it. When the reservoir or when the cup or saucer is empty, then when you top fill everything, every watering that you are putting on top of the Phalaenopsis should have some sort of fertilizer in it, hypothetically, because that's all that they're getting is when you top fill it. Now, it really depends on the season if they are growing or not. But as a principle, it is good technique to just go ahead and do it regularly because it can't hurt them for sure. And if I were to do that, this is how I would do it. And I've already filled some buckets here with rainwater that comes from my barrel that's right there. There's the hose. And I got those two buckets up there, and I got this one. Let me pull this one up here. So, being that it is not yet Halloween, it is still in the growth season, then the fertilizer that I am using is Max Grow. It's 10, 5, 14. Yeah, I would show you that, but really it's difficult to see. Now, if I were really on top of my game, like usually, besides this, which I would be using at half strength per gallon, I would also be using a bit of liquid kelp, which I may just go ahead and do, and alternating that with the Epsom salts, and then of course the cow mag. But in lieu of doing the whole pH thing when I add the cow mag, I'm just going to keep it simple, and I will add a little kelp. And how I do that, when I don't dump the thing down, is that I usually just just sort of give it a splash. I don't want much because a little goes a long way. Kelp Max. This is what I use for the kelp, liquid kelp, and I'm not spraying. Two ounces per gallon. And this is also good for foliar. And it actually says foliar is the most effective way in which to use kelp. Just to keep that in mind. So I've added my liquid kelp, and then I'm going to go down to my fertilizer here. And like I said, I'm using half strength. So this is a 5-gallon bucket, and it is 2 per. So I'm giving it 2 teaspoons is the full strength. So there's 3, 4. I usually give it like 4.5 because the bucket is 5, and I'm not filling it all the way. Now I'm looking for, my buckets usually have spoons in them to stir, because you have to stir it really good. And can't find my spoons at the moment, so I'll just use this. And so what you can do is you can fill one of these pump bottles with this and spray it foliarly, or the way that I do it, let me put this up, is, you know how I do it, is I do it one by one. And I'll start with this, and all I have to do is just set it in there, and you can see that's all you do. I might dump a little of it out, but that's watering my Phalaenopsis and fertilizing. Same with this one that is empty. I'm just going to dip it in, let it soak a little bit, maybe give it a couple. It does seem tedious, and if there isn't any instantly, it just hasn't drained through the moss, and there will be. You can see it's at the top. And this one, which is really growing, again, just dip it in, let it sit for a little bit. Also dip those roots in there. Make sure it gets a nice, dip any excess that you want out. See, this just has a little reservoir in the bottom. And just put it back. And for big plants that are in pots, it's the same thing. You're just dipping it in, giving it a nice deep soak. You don't want the media all fall out of the pot. And if it does, it's just floating on the top. But just a few seconds, 30 seconds, because you won't, it'll be a workout. And then drain it a little bit and set it back in place. I'll do one more. Here is one. And literally I could just do the base because it will wick it up, but I want to get it from the top in the sphagnum. And again, I'm going to dump some out from the bottom because it still will drain from the top. And that's it. Feel free to send me any questions, or you know how to contact me. That was a very good question. I want to thank you, Patrick. Hopefully that helped you. This is my hieroglyphica that has been repotted, and you can see the roots and the kikis. Again, just a couple little dips. Nice soak. Lift it up, drain it a little bit, and then just hang it back up. Making sure that it does not drip on other Phalaenopsis like that, because that is going to be the death. Because it'll rot that leaf, and then soon you'll be doing that to many leaves. But anyway, folks, thanks again. And enjoy your orchids.